Yahweh Bashim Shai Brakathum. Double honors to the others and apostles of Great Millstone. It's Brother Yatazadak back once again with another live lesson. As always, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Right? This is Jeremiah chapter 9, going into the Hebrew. So, Lord willing, you're edified, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. The header of this chapter is a lament over Zion, right? Jeremiah 9:1 says, "Who would give unto my head water, and my eyes a fountain of tears? And I weep, but during the day, right? Because you have yom or Salakia yawam, which means day. And you have like it says here, yawamam, right? Or Salaki Yamam, which means by day, right? And by night for the slain of the daughter of my people, right? Because basically, let's say, uh, you get upset, and what happens? Your head starts to heat up, and then you go out into the cold, and you kind of got steam coming out of your head, right? Basically, and what do? When that happens, you kind of just wash your face, throw some water on your face, maybe throw some water on your head on a hot day. Right? That's what Jeremiah is saying, He was hot. He was upset. And he was saying that he was right? He had tears coming out of him. He was tearing up. Like they say. Like they say in the world. He was tearing up. He was crying. And he was weeping by the day and by night because of what happened to Jake. Or what was going to happen to Jake. Because the Lord gave him visions. No doubt about that. He saw Jake getting, pillaged, destroyed. That caused him to weep, right? Miserably. So it says Maya, Yathan, Marashia, Mayam, Wa Ayanya, Makwar, Damaya, Wa Abka, Yamam, Wa Layala, Ata, Halalya, Bath Amya. Verse 2 says, "Who would give unto me in the wilderness a lodging place for travelers, and that I might forsake or leave off unto my people, and that I may go from them, because all of them are adulterers, an assembly of treacherous," right? Or treacherous men. Or you could say coveters. Because that word, Salakia, I'm trying to stretch. But God means garment. That's in the sense of, but it also means to act covertly, like when you see these shows and, detective shows and they put on a disguise, you know, that's not dealing completely as you should, right? So it reads, Maya Yatan Naya Ba Madabar Ma Lawan Arachim Wa'a Azaba Atha Amya Wa'alaka Ma Atham Kaya Kalam Ma Na'apyum Atazarath Bagadium. Verse 3 says, and they band unto their tongues. Their bows are falsehood, and they are not faithful warriors upon the earth, and they are not faithful or Salaka, and they're not unto faithfulness valiant upon the earth, right? Meaning they're not valiant for the truth. Because from evil unto evil they go out, and unto me they do not know, saith the Lord. Which reads, Wayad Rakwa Ata La Shanam Kwashatam Shakwar Wala'a La Amana Kabarwa Ba Rataza Kaya Ma Raya Al Raya Ya Tazawa Wa Thaya La'a Yadaiwa Na'am Yahweh. Verse 4 says, a man of his neighbor, he should keep, as in take heed to his neighbor, as in, watch him, That's what you got to do when you're around these areas where Jake lives. You got to watch Jake because he'll sneak up on you, and get you. You got to be on point. Because that's Jake, treacherous. And upon all brethren, do not trust them, because all brethren will utterly supplant, and all companion, or you could say neighbor, with slander they walk. Which the word slander, that means that's not the actual word for slander. The word for slander is the ba. This actually means talebearer. No neighbor uttereth, you could just say uttereth tales, just to make it sound cool. Or Salakia, and gossiping they go. Ayash Marayawa Hashmarwa Wa'al Kal Ach Al Tabatakwa Kaya Kal Ach Ikwab Ya Ikwab Wakal Rai Rakial Yahalak. Verse 5 says, and a man upon his neighbor, he shall deceive them. He shall cause them to be deceived, and truth they do, and truthfully they do not speak. Right? They are taught with their tongue to speak lies or falsehood. And perversely they weary themselves, right? They are wearied. Because that word awa, Strong's H 5753, means to bow down, to make crooked, to be amiss, to do amiss, to bend, to curve, to twist, to distort. You know? La, it means to be wearied, weary. Hathal, to deceive. Which I think this means to mock. Let me just double check. Okay, never mind. So it reads Wa Ayash Ba Awa Yahathal Wa Amath La'a Yadabar Lamadwa Lashanam Dabar Shakwar Ha Iwa Nala Awa. You know, because scriptures say that Jake is good at being wicked, but to do righteousness, they have no understanding, right? Which is why you Jakes are into still into Christianity, still into the so-called white man's lies, Catholicism, right? Islam, the religion of Ishmael, right? Buddhism, right? Still reading these heathen books. They're not for you, you know? Taoism, you know? The Lord said, the Lord is giving you the truth now, right? Starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Hebrew Israelite camp, you know? Salakia. Verse 6 says, your dwelling is in the midst of deceit, which this word maramah that actually means guile. In deceit, they refuse to know me, said the Lord. Which reads Shabbat Ka, Bataka, Marama, Ba Marama, Nawa, Dayath, Da'ath, Ataya, Na'am Yahweh. Verse 7 says, for so thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will smelt them. And I say smelt because that's what that word literally means, to smelt. right? Which is the same as melt, but smelt is like when you smelt something, you're actually using extremely high temperatures to right, either purify metal or right, make a form for a metal, you know? Because the word for melt, there's a different word for melt. And let's look at that real quick now that I brought that up. To melt a metal, a smelter. You know, I'm not trying to be funny. You know, that's an actual word for you Jakes that don't know. Smelt. You know, I'm not trying to be funny. Let's look at that word. Look up that word for melt. It's mog, not mug, mog. Which actually I believe that means to dissolve. Yeah, that's the word for dissolve. It's masas. Yeah, masas. That's it. That's it. Yeah, this is Strong's H4127. To flow down, melt away. You know. So the Lord said, "Behold, I will." You can just say melt them, but you want these words to stick. So you got to stick to. Just do what I say. You know. You want to be able to you want to be able to distinguish between these type of words, right? Behold, I will smelt them, and in and try them, because how thus how thus shall I do um, on account of the daughter of my people, you know? And that's why the Lord put Jake in the Babylonian captivity, you know, to purge away that rebellious heart, you know. That's why the Lord cast us off, put us into various captivities, so we can walk with our head down, and you know, appreciate because without adversity, you're not gonna learn nothing. You're not gonna appreciate life, right? But the Lord is, the Lord's actually going to melt 2/3 because once you take that charagma, and the nukes hit, you're done. And that's the whole point of the mark of the beast, which is the charagma, the RFID chip. Esau can't. Of course, Esau's going to destroy, to kill the prophets, right? He's not gonna kill all of them, because some of them got the Lord is gonna cause some of you Jakes to make it. Some of you are gonna perish for this truth. Your works will follow. But as a whole, Esau can't just round up Jake and just put them all to death, because the Lord will intervene, right? which is the reason for the charagma, because he's going to cause a lot of you Jakes to be in fear. And that's the only way via the spiritual demon Satan that Esau can get you. Because you're going to take that charagma and you're going to be destroyed. You know? There's, like scriptures say, there's bounds he cannot pass. There's certain things, right, that the wicked can't do. Because the Lord is controlling everything. On the left and on the right. You know? Just like with Job, the Lord said, you know, do what you want, smite him, but don't kill him. And go forth and do so, you know? And other accounts, right? But you Jakes, man, the Lord is gonna kill you. I mean, I'm laughing, but that's true. It's, you know? That's why you gotta seek the Lord be times, as in early. So it says Lakan ka Amar Yahweh Tazba'ath Hanaya Tazarapam Wa Bachanathium Kaya Ayaka Aisha Mapanya Bath Amya. Verse 8, Salakia, says, like an arrow at a distance is their tongue. Because our word shachat means, or actually that means to slaughter. Or to shoot. Basically, it's saying like an arrow to the slaughter is their tongue. Gal is spoken in their mouth. Or Salakia, Gal is spoken in their mouth is peace given unto his neighbor, which actually just says, in their mouth is peace unto their neighbor, which they speak, and in their midst, they place themselves to lie in wait for them, right? Because that word doesn't mean layeth. Sham, shawam, or shayam just means to place, right? Or you could just say they are placed to lie in wait for them. Which reads Khataza Shahat Lashanam Marama Dabar Papayawa Shalom Atha Rayawa Yadabar Wa Bakwarabwa Yashayam Arabwa. All right. Verse 9. Upon these shall I not visit upon them, saith the Lord, if upon a nation which is according unto this, should not be avenged my soul. Ha'al alha la'a apaquad bum na'am Yahweh I'm bagawaya ashar kaza la'a patha naquam napashya. Verse 10. Salakia. I don't know why I gotta keep stretching. Uh, uh, whew. Mm. So it says, upon the mountains I will lift up a weeping and wailing. Let's look at that word. Lamentation, song of wailing, an elegy, right? Nahaya, Strong's H5092. Let's look up that word elegy. A poem of serious reflection, typically a lament for the dead, right? So upon the mountains I will lift up a weeping and the elegy. Um, and upon the abodes of the wilderness, a dirge. Because I remember, Kwayana, that means dirge. Let's look at that real quick. Tawadi, how about Shemel Shai? A lament for the dead, especially one forming part of a funeral rite. Whew, that's heavy. Because they are burned up, so um, that no man passeth, and there is not a hearing of the voice of the cattle from the fowl of the heavens, and even unto beast. They are fled, and they go. Al Harharium, Asha'ah, Bakya, Wa Nahaya, Wa Al Na'awath, Ba or Salakia, Madabar, Kwayana, Kaya, Na Tazathwa, Mabalya, Ayash, Ibar, Wala'a, Shemaiwa, Qual, Makwana, Ma'ap, Ha Shemayim, Wa'ad, Bahama, Nadadwa, Halakwa. You know, when you hear mountains, that's always talking about like a mountain means like a government, you know, because the Lord split the tribes to Southern Kingdom and Northern Kingdom, right? Jeremiah 9:11. I will make unto Jerusalem for piles, or you could just say heaps, but that's Galia, or Gal just means pile. Same thing. Sometimes it said Thal, you know, like Tel Aviv, you know. That Tal is actually Thal in the Hebrew, which means like a like a pile, a mound. So it would actually mean like Mound of Aviv, you know, a den of dragons. And unto the cities of Judah I will give unto desolation without an inhabitant. Wanathathia atha Yerushalayim Lagalium Ma'awan Thanyum Wa'atha Arya Yahawada Athan Shama Mabalia Yashab. Again, it's not always super deep, okay? Right? So we can kind of fly through this chapter, you know? Salaki, just bear with me 1 second. All right. So, that's why you got to have the charagma, because you Jakes got to give in to the wicked. That's what it's for. That's the whole purpose. Because you think Esau can go into these countries and invade them. What makes you think you can just, especially with all this technology, you think you can't map who all these where all these Jakes are, just round you up and you know? But it's the hand of the Lord that is causing these things that happen on the left hand side, and ultimately, right? That's the purpose of that warning that we're giving out. Because at the end of the day, you wicked Jakes are not going to listen, right? And you might even understand, but you love this world. You don't understand the fear of the Lord. All right, which is the beginning of wisdom, right? It is the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So it says, verse 12 says, "Who is a man? Who is a man wise, and he understandeth unto this, and and which and to which has spoken the mouth of the Lord?" Because we're not speaking to 2/3. We're not speaking to you, to you other nations, to Esau. This warning is for the elect, right? So the mouth of the Lord is what? The prophets, right? The servants of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We're his mouth because we're telling you what's in the scriptures. We're reading the scripture. That is the mouth of the Lord. You read that in the law, Deuteronomy. It's literally called the mouth of the law, right? Because you were to bring witnesses and you were to judge them according to the mouth of the law. You see, the scriptures cannot be broken, my friend. My friend, you know. It's not possible. So it says, unto him and that he may declare it upon what? On account of what? Or Salakia, on account of how will will perish the land? On account of what shall perish the land? Right? Right? Basically saying, right, how should it happen unless the Lord did it? Right? Who can but prophesy? Right? Like the scriptures say, it is the Lord that causes the earth to melt. I believe that's in the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach. And it says, it is up, burnt up. It is burned up like the wilderness without a passerby. Which reads Maya Ha'ayash, Ha Hakam, Wayaban, Atha, Za'ath, Wa Ashar, Dabar, Paya, Yahweh, Al Yawah, Wayagada, Alama, Abada, Ha'urataza, Natazatha, Kama Dabar, Mabalia, Ibar. So who's the wise man? That's the elect, right? Because they're gonna understand, right? And some of you that receive the understanding, you're gonna go out and teach, right? Because why should all you Jakes be destroyed? The Lord didn't tell us to put the truth in a napkin. This is why it says, for what the land perisheth and is burned up like the wilderness that none passeth by. You know, that's a dark sentence, right? For how should all Jake perish and be burnt up, right? Uh, so that none remain. But that's not going to happen because the Lord said, right? We would, unless the Lord had left a remnant, we would have been in Sodom and Gomorrah. Because if if we're all destroyed, and if we all sell out, then the Lord is not the Lord, and he's not true. But that is impossible because he is literally the most high power, Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakwadash. And the Lord's creation is everything is a balance. Hot, cold, light, dark. So it's impossible because you need one thing for another to be. Verse 13 says, and he said, the Lord, on account of which thou hast forsaken unto my law, which I have given before them, and they have not heard in my voice, and or Salakia, and they do not hear in my voice, and they do not walk in it. You know? Right? Because hearing is one thing. Okay, I'm an Israelite, but there's an action involved with that faith, believing, which is why James the Apostle said, "Works, faith without works is dead." Right? Scriptures say that those that remain wander away from the ways of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Right? You know how Jake says it in the world, that's dead. You know, meaning I'm not dealing with that. You know, or the term dead talk. You know, that's not really a term, but I kind of came up with that. You know. Yad Tazadak. It's not Tazadak. It's Yad Yad Tazadak. You heard it first, right? The Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahushai for right, for the Ha Thawarath. Because you're supposed to hear, obey the voice, and walk in it, which is the law. Jeremiah 9:14. And they have walked after the perverseness of their heart, and afterwards, or Salaki, and after Baalim, which taught them their fathers. Wayalakwa Charya Sharath Labam Wa Karya Ha Baalim Ashar Lamadam Abatham. Verse 15, for so thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will feed them unto the people this with wormwood, and give them to drink water of gall. Right, gall is poison. Gall is right. Let's look that up real quick. Gall, bold and impudent behavior, gallbladder, bowel, bitterness, proverbial for its bitterness. Right. Let's read Lakan Ka Amar Yahweh Tazaba'ath Alahaya Yasha'ala Hadnaya Ma Akial Akilam Ata Ha'aim Za La'aina Waha Shakiathium Maya Ra'ash. Let's look at that word for wormwood. La'aina. A woody shrub with a bitter aromatic taste used as an ingredient in vermouth or abstain and in medicine. A state or source of bitterness or grief. Vermouth. A red or white wine flavored with aromatic herbs made chiefly in France and Italy, used as cocktails. Let's look at hemlock. A highly poisonous European plant of the parsley family with a purple spotted stem, fern-like leaves, small white flowers, and an unpleasant smell. You know, so wormwood has to do with bitterness, right? Gall is like is poison. Is associated with poison. Because that's what's gonna happen when the missiles hit. You know, the water's gonna be defiled, right? Um, the water's gonna be defiled. You know, the fishes, the creatures of the sea will perish. Right? The creatures of the sea will perish, and right, the water is gonna be right, it's gonna have radiation in it. You know, you're gonna take the charagma, and scriptures say that they're gonna have putrefying swords. It's gonna give you cancer. Anyways, verse 16 says, "And I will scatter them amongst the nations which they have not known, they and their fathers, and I will send after them unto the sword, even till I have consumed them. Waha Patazath Patazathium, Bagawayim, Ashar La'a, Yadaiwa, Hama, Wa Abatham, Wa Shalakataya, Akharyahum, Ata Haharab Ad, Kalathia Atham. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, uh, understand and proclaim uh, for mourning women. Again, there's that word Quanan again, a dirge. But the tha at the end, makes it in a feminine sense. Mourning women, or yeah, women for mourning, whatever, however you want to say it. And they shall enter, and to the wise send them out, and to the wise women send them out, and that they may come. Right, which it says here, cunning women. You know, because the mourning women, they're gonna mourn. The cunning women, they're gonna prepare resting places for the dead. You know, Ka Amar Yahweh Tazaba'ath, Hat Hata Ban Nawa, Wa Ra'awa, Lama Kwan Nath, Wata Ba'ayana, Wa'al Ha Hakamath, Shalakwa, Wata Ba'ana. Verse 18. And that they may haste, and that they may lift up upon us a eulogy, and it may uh, come down our eyes tears, and our eyelids um, drop with waters. Which that word zal, that actually means Salakia, to trickle down with waters. Because that word for drop is Paul, which means to fall, but it also means to drop. You know, this means to trickle. You know. Verse 19 says, Salakia. Because the voice of wailing, right? But again, right? That means what? An elegy. Because the voice of wailing is heard in Zion. Where thus? Where thus are we spoiled? Which is another way to say how thus are we spoiled? You know. You know how they say, where did this come from? Or, you know? So where thus are we spoiled? We are ashamed exceedingly because we have forsaken the land, because it had cast us out our dwelling places, as in our dwelling places have cast us out. Or Salakia, there has been a casting out from our dwelling places. Woo, that's heavy. Kaya qual nahaya nashamai matazayawan ayaka shadad nawa bash nawa ma'ad kaya izab nawa rataza kaya ha shalyakwa ma shakanath yanawa. Verse 20. See how many more verses? Okay, we got 6 more verses. All right. Verse 20. Because hear, O women, the word of the Lord, and take with your ear the word of his mouth, and teach your daughters wailing. A woman to her neighbor to lament. Man, that's crazy. And that's why Jake wanted to put Jeremiah to death. You know? Says Kaya Shemaina Nashim Tabar Yahweh Watakwach Azan Kam Tabar Payawa Walamadna Banat Yakam Nahaya, Ba'asha, Ra'atha, Quayana. Because it is ascended up, death. In upon our windows it has entered, in our palaces, to cut off the little ones without, as in the streets, in the street, the choice men from the squares. You know, a square is a place where you go to congregate. You know, like downtown. You know, a square was a center of a town, right? Kaya Ayla, Mawath, Ba Yanawu, Ba'a, Ba Armanath Yanawu, Laha Karyath, Ilal, Ma Khataza, Bakarium, Ma Rahabath. Verse 22, speak, thus saith the Lord, and they shall fall the carcasses of the men like dung upon the face of the field, and like the sheave, I believe that means like the sheaves from after the harvest, and none will get, and there will be none to gather, as in to gather them. The bar ka naam Yahweh wanapala nabalath ha adam ka daman al panya ha shada waka amyar ma akarya ha quatazar wa ayan ma asap. Salaki, just bear with me 1 second. Right? So the Lord had threatened, and who can, right? Who can disannul it, right? So the Lord said it, and the Lord is going to bring the destruction. Whether you heathens believe it or not, whether Esau likes it or not, whether Jake wants to return or not, you know? Salakia. Ah, man. Salakia. So it reads, Tabar Ka Naam Yahweh Wana Pala. Salaki, I already read that. Verse 23 says, thus saith the Lord, may he not glory the wise man in his wisdom, and may he not glory the warrior in his might, and may he not glory the rich man in his riches. Right? Ka Amar Yahweh al Yata Halal Hakam Ba Hakam Akamath Wa Al Yata Halal Hagabar Ba Gabarath Wa Al Yata Halal Ashyar Ba Ashar Wa This is what Paul the Apostle quoted, right? Don't glory in the fact that you're the chosen, you're the elect, right? Or because you're mighty in the word, right? Because you're right, you're so wise, or right? You can go into the Hebrew, you can go into the Greek, right? Or you got all the breakdowns, right? What does it say, verse 24? Let him glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Right? That is a token of the true servants of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Right? It's just doing what you're told, right? And that's it. So it says, verse 24, because if upon this he should glory, surely he should glory, surely, right? He that is insightful and knoweth me, because I am the Lord which executes loving kindness and judgment, and righteousness in the earth. Because in these I delight, saith the Lord. You know? So the Lord isn't looking at you, Jakes, that are marching, and you got your big camps. He doesn't delight in that. He delights in those that what? Do as he commanded. And that's true faithfulness, right? Thou art a faithful servant, right? That's what scriptures say. Enter into life eternal. So it reads, Kaya I'm Bazaath, Yatha Halal, Ha Mata Halal, Ha Shakal, Wayadai Ataya, Kaya Anya Yahawah, Aisha, Fasad, Mashapat, Wa Tazadaka, Ba Rataza Kaya, Ba Alha, Hapataza Taya, Naam Yahawah. Verse 25, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, and I'll visit upon all circumcised amongst the uncircumcised, right? True circumcision is you know, following the way that the Lord gave, right? That's that's not literal, you know. It's talking about if you're uncircumcised through the Spirit, you still don't get it. Yeah, you may have the garment, you may have, right? You go into the history, so what? I mean, that's good. You got ISUPK, Sakari, IUIC. They're telling Jake that they're Jake, that they're Israelites. They got to keep the laws, you know, but they're still uncircumcised because they're not doing the right thing. Which reads Hana, Yum Yum, Ba'ayim, Na'am Yahweh, Wapkwataya, Al Kal, Mawal, Ba'arala. Verse 26, against Judah, and against Egypt, and against Judah, and against Edom, and against the sons of Ammon, and against Moab, and against all ends of all the ends of the regions of the inhabitants in the wilderness, right? Because all the nations are uncircumcised, because all the nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel is uncircumcised in the heart, meaning it's not even for the nations. But Israel, you got Jake, that still hasn't repented, right? They're still not cut to the heart. That true circumcision is when you really galvanize to return to the Lord and really do what the Lord said to do and teach what He said to teach, right? So we can reach the elect, the Ha-Baharim, right? The choice ones, the chosen, the electos, right? That's in the Greek. It reads Al Matazarium, Wa'al Yahawada, Wa'al Adawam, Wa'al Banya Amwan, Wa'al Mawa'aba, Wa'al Kal Quatazatazaya, Pa'a Hayashabium, Bama Dabar Kaya, Kal Hagwayim, Iralium, Kal Bayath Yasha'ala, Iralia Lab. So again, that's talking about back then because it's not listing all the nations. That's talking about the Babylonian captivity, right? So like I said, this chapter wasn't necessarily dealing with future prophecy, but this parallels that we can use to teach doctrine, right? But anyways, that's pretty much it. Is Jeremiah chapter 9 going into the Hebrew, right? This brother Yatazadak hero of Israel, and as always, giving honor and Salakia. Lord will you ratified, giving all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Kwam Yasha Allah, Abad Babal, Shalom.